Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Sanctuary Hills. And in today's episode I decided to tackle this space in between public occurrences and one of the Sanctuary Hills houses. And I thought I would do something I haven't built for quite a while. In fact, I think I've only ever built one of these buildings before, and that is a school for the settlement. So I'm going to very quickly work out how big the foundation needs. Hello. Excuse me, I'm building here. Get a truck. So you're going to just stay there, are you? Okay. So we do have a few problems with this Brahmin, but I will get rid of him or her in a minute. So I'm just working out how big the foundation needs to be. One of the big things is I need to have it as close to that foundation as possible, but at the same time I need to put a wall in there, and I don't need that interfering with the walls that I put in. So what I usually do when I build, I get the foundation right, and we're going to go and take care of that Brahmin in a second because it's annoying me. And if you don't know how to take care of Brahmin, I'll show you the Brahmin taken care of tool in a second. So you want to get rid of Brahmin, just get one of these Mark 1 or Mark 2 turrets, and basically in building mode just shove them out the way. There you go. Now this guy might come back, he might not, but if he does I'll get the turret to shoot at it. No, I'm kidding. So yep, just push them out the way, and usually that is enough just to get rid of them. So lo and behold, by the magic of herding Brahmin away, the foundation is done. So next thing I'm going to do, and this is a build design I've done in the settlement at Sunshine Tidings. I had to think about that for a second. This is a kind of look that I've done at Sunshine Tidings, and I'm fixing up the Commonwealth segment that I run on the channel, and that is just to put these smaller block walls in from Workshop Rearranged. And then what I will do is I'm going to put a set of stairs in. I contemplate putting a porch here and decide against it, so I'll just put those in just to see what they look like. I put a set of stairs in here like that, and I'm going to get rid of those two there. It just doesn't work, and it actually isn't necessary. So you can see all the way around I've got that kind of half block wall in, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into USO to my favorite metal walls, and I am going to glitch a couple walls into these concrete or stone block walls. So we'll get the door in first, just like that. There you go. Oh, get out the bushes. And then we're going to use these half walls. We are in fact going to use the barn tab in a minute from USO, but we'll get to that. I'm going to get 4 of those walls like that, and what I'm going to do is, see, I'm getting excited. I think there's another Brahmin coming. I'm going to glitch those into there like that and try and get them to line up as much as possible. And you need to get them to be about halfway into those walls, so they're not you can't see, you can only see the top half of them, and the rest of the wall is hidden in the middle of the block wall like that. So I'm just going to check that we've got that right, which we have. Fantastic. And we'll do the same on the other side. Now you can see there's a bit of a gap there. We're going to fill that with this wall here. You can do this with a pillar. The pillar and the rug will do the same thing, so you shouldn't have too much of a drama with this. Now strangely enough, I tried to put these full walls in and they just wouldn't fit, but strangely enough, you'll see in a second, the full walls now snap perfectly into place for some reason. Yep, I know, just one of those weird things that happens in Fallout when you're building. So we're going to put same design, that door needs to be moved, but we'll fix that up. See, like that, those full walls just snap straight into place. Don't know why, but yeah, I'll take the win on the other side too. Now, this is what I was talking about before. I wanted to get that foundation as close to that other building as possible without it interfering. So here we go, this one's going to fight us. There we go. Sometimes just getting the angle right is enough. So drop that in there for now. Try and pull it across, which so we'll find another one to drop in there, and strangely enough it'll just drop in, snap, just like that. Look at that. You saw it snap. Again, it's the angle and the distance and all kinds of stuff. So drop these all in. That does clip through a little bit, but in the final build it's not a major drama, so I'm not too worried about it. And for some reason, and I think it's just because it's interfering with that house there, I have to glitch this last piece in, but it's not such a big drama. And there we go. That's the bottom part of the foundation done. I think I went away and had a wee bit of a sleep, and it's a new day and we've come back fresh as a daisy. And I'm about to use the barn tab from USO, which I haven't used before. I want to use it in this build. Put that in there like that. And these floors are only so I can snap walls on, nothing else, because I end up changing the floor in this build, and it looks pretty nice. So I'm going to use the second one along here. And I've never used these pieces before, so it took me a while to find them, plus trying to get used to them. But with those floors snapped in, these should just all snap together. Now, that full wall, in hindsight, I should have used just a half wall there. But again, I wasn't quite sure how this building was going to come together, so I used these full walls for now. You'll see in the final build, I'll explain why I should have used a half wall there. Rinse and repeat on the other side. Let's go all the way around with these walls, just like that, and just snap them all into place. And this is a good way, if you want to vary up your textures just a tad, just a little bit, this is a good way of doing it. So you can see we've got, you know, a kind of concrete texture plus two metal textures all combined here. So as I usually do, let's go out and eyeball it, and I obviously need, on that left hand side, I need to get a half wall in there because it just doesn't look right. However, pretty good progress with the build. We're probably where we need to be at this point. So I'm going to go inside and just hop up on that ledge there now. You'll see in a second that I have to pull a lot of these, I have to adjust a lot of these walls down in a second when I put, because these are not going to be the floors I'm going to use. These floors were just purely to get things to snap in and snap to each other. Here we go. That's all looking pretty good. So I decided to put half walls all the way around now, and it's not a bad idea. Get a bit of frame rate drop, I don't know why, but we'll put that out of the way in case we need it later. And you can see it's an interesting texture, and once we get it all dressed up, you'll see it all blends in with the buildings we've got to the right that we've done in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and so that's what I wanted to do. And it also kind of sort of blends in with the sanctuary houses that are already there, which is quite nice. Now you can see that that door seems to be sitting a little bit too far forward, so that probably needs to be pushed back just a fraction. And I'd like to maybe recess that door a little bit further in, if I can. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change up the floors, and you'll see that as soon as I pull out the floors, see the big gap that it's left. Not a major issue, just pull that down on top and it will just snap straight into place. The fact that you've gone all the way around with those pieces means they're not now relying on the floors, they're relying on the walls next to them. And I'm going to use these floors, which you can get like bridges in USO, and I'm using the ones from Workshop Rearranged. I know that you can get them in USO because I have seen them. So you could also, as an alternative here, use the pallets for a floor up here. I've decided to just go with these, and it gives a kind of scrappier look to the upstairs of the building, and it helps to build the whole look of it. And they should snap reasonably okay to everything. Now there's a couple of walls that need to come down there, but we'll fix them a little bit later. There we go. And so we just quickly get the floors in, hence why I've just sped this up, because it's pretty rinse and repeat stuff. So you can see it gives it quite a unique look, and I'm going to use these other bridge floors. They actually fit perfectly into that gap there. It's got quite a nice look. Now what I'm then going to do is take that one out and put some stairs in there so you can get up into the second level. This is going to be a 3-level building, and you'll see at the end what I utilise for the 3rd level. So that floor looks alright, just a couple of adjustments. There is some clipping going on, and I don't quite understand why there would be clipping given that these all actually snap to each other, but anyway, there is. And so what I'll do is I'll try these bridge walls, and that gap's just a bit too short. I could use these pallets, but that also gives me some issues. So I end up doing a combination of some of these floor filler boards and pallets and various things just to keep the scrappy appearance happening. So these are really good if you have these kind of odd shaped holes or gaps that you need to fill. You see that one just sits in there nicely. It actually snapped in. Just like that. There we go. So vary these up as you need to. You can use some of these floor planks as well, just to make it look as though it's all blended in, and is sort of like the floor that's already down. In the final build, you actually don't really notice that anyway. And that's pretty much our main building done. So just lowering those hip walls down a fraction. One of the biggest hurdles I had to overcome was actually this area at the front, and how to configure the schoolroom. So fairly quick build. Here's the final build, and you can see the school bus is on top of the schoolhouse, a massive schoolhouse sign. You've got no misapprehensions what that building is. Unfortunately it's stuck to the wall, so I couldn't replace the wall without getting rid of the sign. Just give you a quick look at it. It kind of does stand out pretty well. I did a whole lot of scrappiness to the front, just to add a little bit of character to it. You can scrap this up as you like. Preston Garvey actually likes to come and sit at the front for some reason. I'll say no more than that. So let's go in and see what it looks like. So downstairs has got a very kind of basement-y, dingy feel, and I like that feel. There's lots of lockers, a little bit of a hangout place in there. As you can see, lockers everywhere. And the kind of military mats are down everywhere. And down below here, there's lots of different stuff down here. It really does, like I say, have a basement-y feel about it. A couple of beds in here, but I've tried to keep it fairly consistent. You could of course do more of this. You could probably put a second classroom in and down the bottom if you wanted, but you can see I've used a lot of these shack end walls and screens and all kinds of stuff to partition that bottom section off. Let's go upstairs into the classroom. And I've kept the lighting to a fair minimum here. And I've tried to keep the desks to a fair minimum too. You can see if you want to do a science experiment, there's a little trunk set up for it. No idea why that suitcase is on top of the locker, but it is. And here's the teacher's desk just down the back. Obviously his pot of coffee and coffee at the back here. Vault-Tec calendar. An elemental table. And I've used a lot of these new posters that come with Workshop Rearranged, which are the perk posters. And upstairs in level 3 is actually the teacher's dwelling or home, and it looks pretty nice. It's got a really nice view of the Commonwealth and of Sanctuary Hills specifically. Kept it reasonably sparse up here. But it is light and airy, as you can see. And welcome to his bathroom. There's a little shower there. The bath probably needs a little bit of a Braxo cleaner, a little bit of a clean. And there's last night's dinner, but he's got a very special toilet that you can sit and contemplate the world and have a nice look over Sanctuary Hills. So that's it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this build. It was a fun little build. It did test me a little bit just to figure out how to get all the textures and the different walls to work with each other. But in the end, I'm really happy with how it turned out. And why not have a shot at building your own schoolhouse? Okay, guys. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for tuning in. And this is Gaming for XP saying, see ya.